So today we're going to break down a really powerful sermon from Apostle Joshua Selman. And it's on a topic that, let's be honest, hits home for pretty much everyone who's ever faced a real challenge. How do we actually access spiritual help? The core idea is that there's a system, a framework for receiving that divine assistance, and we're going to walk through it together. The sermon kicks things off with this incredible image of strength and victory. I mean, leaping over a wall, that's not something you do on your own. And that little phrase right there, by my God, well, that's the whole key. It sets the stage for everything we're about to get into. And this is the central question, isn't it? We all have dreams, we all have goals, and we all have obstacles, walls. But we also have limits. And that's what we're digging into here. What happens when your own effort, your own strategy, just isn't enough to get you over that wall?
So here's the game plan for how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with the problem itself, what the sermon calls the unassisted limit. Then we'll explore the three specific channels of help: mercy, men, and the Holy Spirit. And we'll wrap it all up with what's called the believer's advantage.
Okay, first things first, we have to understand the starting point, the foundational idea that everything else is really built on.
So here it is, the crucial point. There is a ceiling to what any person can achieve completely on their own. Certain results, certain levels of success are just not possible without a partnership with a higher power. And this isn't about not trying hard enough. It's about recognizing that there's a whole different class of results out there.
And wow, this verse just nails that idea, doesn't it? It's not always about who wants it the most or who runs the fastest. According to this teaching, there's another massive variable in the equation of success, and that variable is divine assistance. So if we have a limit, how do we get past it? This is where it gets really good. This sermon offers a structured solution, a framework for how divine help is actually delivered. Okay, but first, we've got to be on the same page about what help actually means in this context. It doesn't mean someone else doing all the work for you. It means making things easier or making them possible. Think of it like leverage. It's a force multiplier for your own efforts. It's not about replacing you, it's about empowering you. So the sermon lays out this divine leverage as a system with three main channels, three distinct pathways through which help comes. Let's dive into each one. All right, channel number one. This one is maybe the most foundational and honestly probably the most misunderstood of the three, the mercy of God. I love this because it totally flips the script on what we think asking for mercy is all about. It's not positioned as a cry of the weak or desperate. No, it's presented as a strategic move by the wise, by those who are smart enough to recognize their limits and know they need help from beyond themselves. The teaching really digs into this, right? It explains that mercy isn't just about, oops, I messed up, please forgive me. No, it's a spiritual principle you can actually activate. The sermon uses the story of blind Bartimaeus, who just kept crying out, "Have mercy on me," to argue that mercy actually comes before favor. It's the foundation that favor is built on. Okay, let's talk about the second channel, and this one is super practical. I mean, it's all about the people around you. This quote really says it all. The teaching is crystal clear. God works through people. What does that mean for us? It means our relationships, our destiny helpers, our mentors, our strategic connections are a primary way that divine assistance shows up. Your next breakthrough might literally be a handshake away. And the story of the man at the pool of Bethesda? Wow, it's used as such a powerful case study. For 38 years, a miracle was available right there next to him. The opportunity, the mercy was present. But when Jesus asked him what the holdup was, his answer was so simple: I have no man. He was missing the human connection he needed to access the help that was already there. All right, that brings us to our third and final channel. And this is the one the sermon really goes deep on: the direct ministry of the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit is literally called the helper. Now remember that definition of help we talked about? Providing leverage, advantage, empowerment. Well, that's the job description right there. The whole role is to provide that crucial spiritual advantage that lets a person operate way beyond their natural limits. So you might be asking, okay, how does that actually work? Well, the sermon breaks it down into three key functions. First, revealing God's will, so you actually know you're on the right track. Second, providing direction and guidance along that path. And third, empowering you with something called enabling grace to get the job done. And I think this is such a brilliant way to explain the difference between direction and guidance. See, direction shows you the destination, the path to get there, but guidance shows you the steps to take on that path. It's about the process. It's what points out the potholes and the sharp turns so you don't crash, even when you're headed the right way. And the sermon says the Holy Spirit does both. Okay, so we've got these 3 channels. How do they all fit together? The last section ties it all up into one practical system for your life. You see, the big takeaway here isn't just a bunch of nice spiritual ideas. It's that these 3 things, mercy, men, and the ministry of the Holy Spirit, they actually work together to create a real, tangible system of advantage. It's a framework for actively partnering with God to blow past that unassisted limit. And this conversation from the Bible, man, it's the perfect way to wrap this all up. It takes us right back to that core problem we started with, that question, how can this possibly happen since I don't have the natural means? And the answer isn't a strategy or a technique. The answer is a person. The Holy Spirit will empower you. It is the ultimate solution to the wall you can't leap over on your own. And that really leaves us with something to chew on, doesn't it? The whole sermon sets up the Spirit as this active partner. So the real question for you and for me is, what does that partnership actually look like day to day, in our decisions, in our work, in our relationships? Now that's something to think about.